Okay, there might be lobsters. Come on, Suki, you can do it, said Eleanor. She stood at the bottom of the stairs to the beach and waved to Suki. But Suki was just a small dog, and stairs were big and sandy. She hadn't had lunch yet, and her foot hurt a little, and she might get a shell stuck up her nose, and she might tumble down on her head. Then she'd need stitches. And besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat at the top of the stairs with Chunkamunka by her side. Oh, all right, said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a t and a huff until she carried them down the stairs. Come on, Suki, you can do it, said Eleanor. She tossed a beach ball Suki's way. But Suki was just a small dog, and the beach ball was big and beachy, and it might hit her in the nose, and then it would pop, and then it would be too loud. Or it might knock her down, and she may never get up again, and she would have to live in the beach forever, eating seaweed to survive, and besides, beach balls attract lobsters. So Suki sat far away from the beach ball with Chunkamunka by her side. Oh, Suki, Eleanor swooped that pup up with a t and a huff and cradles her in her arms. Come on, Suki, you can do it. Eleanor stood at the water's edge and splashed a little splash at Suki. But Suki was just a small dog, and those waves were big, and they were whooshy, and they were salty, and they were too wet, and they might toss her out into the middle of the sea, and she might float all the way to Tasmania, or even Florida, and she might be swallowed by a whale, and she wasn't wearing a bathing suit, and besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat on the edge of the water with Chunkamunka by her side. Oh, Suki, said Eleanor. She shook her head and dove into the waves. Suki sat and watched the beach balls bounce and the big boys running and umbrellas flapping and lifeguards blowing loud whistles and waves splish splashing with Chunkamunka. Floating out to sea, Suki barked for Chunkamunka to come back, and Chunkamunka started to sink. Suki started to paddle. She paddles past a big beachy ball and through a huge salty wave over something that might even be a lobster. She felt braver than the bravest dog because even though she was very small, Chunkamunka was smaller. Oh, Suki, I knew you could do it, said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a yay and a hooray and swung them very gently through the air. Suki sat in the sandy sand with the wavy waves and watched for lobsters with Chunkamunka by her side, and they didn't see one all day.